Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Welcome to another live, vertical, vertical live. So, did it in portrait mode this time instead of landscape. So, all right, another weekly Bitcoin. So, hold on here. Getting all the emails that we're going live. Just have to do something on the computer. But so far, all my predictions have not come true. and this is very typical. If you know how to trade, then you know what I'm talking about. Or if you ever do trading, a lot of the times you're not right. I would say like over 50%. People say you have a 50-50 chance when it comes to trading. I don't think that's true. I think you have a less of a chance of being right. More in the 30, maybe even below 30% of being right when it comes to trading. Anyways, I'm gonna put in oh, I can't put in a poll. Let's check if the live chat is working. Is the live chat working? Yeah, okay. Live chat is working. It's recording on the screen. Excellent. All right. Well, then, I guess I will go ahead and start. That's all I can do, is start. But before I do that, let's get the settings right. I start everything on the phone. Start everything on the phone, and then work my way to the computer. Some other people have very nice setups, microphone, lighting. Not me. I'm very minimalistic. So far, how long have I been doing this? About a month now. And I made my prediction that by this week the price should be moving, but it hasn't. It's been going sideways. And I'll be showing you a little bit. Excuse me for a moment. I'm still looking, still making my adjustments. But my overall sentiment is that the price will still go down. That is my overall sentiment. That still remains. As you can tell by the thumbnail, my thumbnail kind of gives it away, right? It's it's basically, you see a coin with the Bitcoin symbol, which is ridiculous to use, like, but sometimes you got to make a thumbnail like that because people just don't understand. They don't understand that. And they have to see a physical coin for some reason. But Bitcoins aren't physical. Cryptocurrencies aren't physical at all. Of course, you all knew that already, I'm assuming. Probably. I hope so, if you're watching this. All right, I'm almost done here. I'll let the live stream go for a little bit so everyone can see while I go in here, make all the necessary changes. But so far, the price has not moved. So if you if you did go long or you went short, you didn't make any money. You probably didn't. Well, maybe you made a little bit of money, or maybe you lost a little bit of money, or lost a little bit of Bitcoin, however you want to see it. There we go. Okay, that looks good. Excellent. All right, so in a vertical format today, experimenting a little with the live stream. I'm using the mobile phone, and I'm having my morning drink with dried mango that is in the drink. It's no longer dry, it's very wet, so So right now my time is about 11 o'clock. I'm looking at the price. Hasn't done much. Let's go to the charts here. You can see the rest of the price. Let me move it to over so you can see the weekly change and the yearly change. As far as the same time last year, most cryptocurrencies are down. They are down. Um, when you start seeing everything being green, I mean, it's going to be obvious we're back in the bull market, but that has to be said because some you want to know if you're in a bull market when all this okay is green. When most of this is green, you're definitely in a bull market. All right. If you ever need a signal, or if you ever think you need a signal, just go to this and just realize you're in a bull market when everything's green. But mostly, if everything's red, yeah, it's been a bad. You've been in a bear market. You're experiencing a bear market. But okay, so the last 30 days it's been up. It's kind of weird. I watch the charts just because, I'm doing the live stream about it. And so I got to stay up to date on current events. But when I look at the charts, and I look at the charts all the time, I could, it seems like it's changed for some reason. I remember the last 3 to 4 candlesticks as being a red candlestick, but now they're not. It's kind of like half and half. And the current candlestick is down quite a bit. So at one point it was high. It started off as a green candlestick, but now it's down. Anyways, my sentiment is still negative on the overall pricing. What you're looking at right now is the last 4 months. I believe it's the last 4 months. Let me check that. This is 2022 06 012. And so what is it now? Yeah, last 4 months. So it's October 24th. That is the current date here. Interesting. Okay. Let's refresh that. Get that crosshair out of the way. So yeah. So the last 4 months, the price has been going sideways, and I would have thought by now it would start to trend up or have a dead cat bounce, but it looks like the dead cat is finally dead. The question is now, is the dead cat gonna roll over and fall off another cliff, or does it have one more bounce, one more convulsion to drive the price up, which I did predict when I started making these live stream videos about the price of Bitcoin. And right now, I have to say I don't know. I don't know. The price is acting very strange. It's almost like it's about to do something, but you just don't know when. And so if you look at the last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, last four, I would say 4 weeks, very flat. Volume is a little bit lower. So obviously less trading activity, less market participants. And just I guess the shorts and the longs have exhausted themselves to the point where they're not even in the market anymore. However, I do think there will be a price movement. I think very soon. How soon? I don't know at this point. This point, uh, if I was to trade, and just to let you know, I'm not trading. This is not any financial advice whatsoever. I just do a weekly chart analysis, typically every Monday, because you get a new candlestick. Typically, you get a new candlestick, although I don't see a candlestick. This could be the new candlestick. But I would like try to do a range, or not a range. It's the opposite of range. Range is between 2 points, in between 2 points, in between two prices, a low and high price. It would be more like a momentum trade, an breakout trade within a range. So this is the current chart you're seeing. The current, yeah, the chart you're seeing is about the last 4 weeks. Let's see. Let me. Okay. So this would be about the last 4 weeks, something like this. So something like this would be the about the last 4 months. So this is about 4 months of candlesticks right here. And I'm not going to draw any lines. You could see my previous episode about that, how I draw lines. But I would like just to play it safe, because the momentum, the volume of trades have been very low. So the average movement in price is decreasing. So there's no trade as far as going up or down, because it's just been going sideways. So the last 3-4 weeks, it's just been sideways within a very tight range. Range right here. Let's see if range right here at about 20,400, and the low right there, which is about 18,157. So it's been trading at a tight range the last 4 weeks. What you might want to do is take on a momentum trade. So if it breaks above or below these two price ranges, and I might draw a line. I'm going to draw a fib line. Let me see. Draw Fibonacci retracements. Sure. I think Fibonacci retracements are not very useful, but I will use it in this particular instance. It's from this low to that high. There we go. There we go. Back to crosshair. Excellent. Okay. Let me get rid of this. Let me clear that out. Okay. So there's the range for the most part. There's the range. So if it breaks above 20,469, I think that could be a trade you could take. The momentum going up. I wouldn't put a lot. If you know how momentum trades work, you just take the initial trade. If it breaks above, 20,469, if it breaks above that, this is how a momentum trade works. You just take the average price movement, and that's basically your stop loss or your limit order, whichever position you take. And then you take a very small, all right, trade, not a lot. And that's your initial first trade. And what you do as the price moves in that direction, if it goes up, you hit your first trade, and it's very small. And then you, depending on the average you get, okay, there's an average price movement, you take another trade as it continues to go up. And then you take another trade as it goes up. Now you could decide, there's variations. Some people like keep the trade amount, the actual trade, the same, whether, whatever, 1 Bitcoin, 2 Bitcoin, half a Bitcoin, whatever you want to do. But as the price keeps going, they just keep adding on top of the trade when it goes through a certain price range or a certain price going up. That's if it's going up. If it's going down, you do the same, except the price is going down. You're shorting it. So you're just playing the momentum. In other words, you're moving with the trade for the most part. And I think that's probably the best trade right now because it's just not moving up, it's just not moving down. It is within a range of these two prices for the last 3 to 4 weeks. And as you can see, it's at right now it's at a 50%. So it's basically it is just for the most part still consolidating. It just looks very, very small, very, very light. It looks like it's not moving because I'm on the weekly. If I change it to a daily, maybe I could do a better chart analysis, but I prefer just to stay on the weekly. It gives me um, gives me, let me see, a better view is what I would say. It gives me an overall view of what of the price action, whether how much volatility there is. But for the most part, it's basically hitting a medium from those price the two prices, 20,000 and what 18,000. Between that, it's just hitting the 50%. So it's just ranging within the range, and it's getting tighter and tighter. I probably have to go to like a smaller time frame, but the but I would be very cautious about that because you could end up going into a tighter time frame, and then when the price all of a sudden moves, you think it's making a huge move, and then you get caught up into this trade, and when the trade all of a sudden whiplashes up and down, um, you need to really back out to the as much as you can. I prefer the weekly. So yeah, but my overall sentiment is still negative. It's still negative. I still think the price will continue to go down. I still think the price will continue to go down. Um, I just don't see any strong indicators. I don't see any strong indicators. There's nothing in the news that I can see that tells me that there would be some kind of a rally going on. I just don't see that. I could take a quick look at the news real quick and see what news have come up. No, I don't see anything. Nothing newsworthy. Although there's probably been a lot of hacks, even hacks that aren't Bitcoin related, they're other cryptocurrency related, affect the price of all cryptocurrencies, usually downward. Because you lost money, that money is being used by someone else, therefore the price has to go down. I'm looking at some of the I'm looking at some of the news. How not to Bitcoin user pays 1,000x fee to send 4 Bitcoin. Well, 4 Bitcoin right now is like $80,000, but they send 1,000 times fee. I don't know how you can do that these days. Usually, it's got to be it's got to be one of those. It's got to be a different type of wallet. He probably pushed a key by accident or miscalculated by a few decimal points. There's some wallets that you can, customize everything and input every you could input a lot of things in there, and someone probably miscalculated or put a decimal point in the wrong place. With most wallets these days, um, it's hard to do that. A lot of times when I do any transfers, when I when I do transfers with Bitcoin back in the day, I would always set it to not Bitcoin, but based on the current price. That way, when I looked at the fee and the fee was like $1,000, obviously you can easily miscalculate the fee because you could, you know, mis misplace the decimal point, or miscalculate. So I always put it in USD, what the fee would be, and the fee, if the fee is like 10 cents, a dollar, depending on how congested the network is. But 10 cents to a dollar, whatever, 4 cents. Maybe right now it's like 35 cents. I don't know what it is, but you want to pay the least amount in fees if you're not in a hurry. At most, you want to pay maybe a dollar or $2 in total fees, not a dollar per transactions or for the fee, not a dollar for the how do I say it? You don't want to pay per the transaction in fees. You want to pay the total amount in whatever amount that is. Again, I usually set it to dollars. So when it's $1,000 in fees, I know I did something wrong. So, but that typically doesn't usually happen. It has to be like one of those really customizable wallets that you input everything. You input the node, you input all this other stuff. Let's see. Oh, this is interesting. I see when you see a lot of headlines that talk about Bitcoin price hits 19,500 into weekly close as traders predict green week. This is coming from Cointelegraph. Yeah, I'm a little wary about that. Let me see. Mining difficulty jumps 3%. That could be useful news. Looking at mining difficulty does help. I think a lot of people are jumping. I think some people who are taking a risk on mining, they're probably jumping into the game. I think they're jumping into the game, most likely. They're starting to buy up mining rigs, starting up mining plants, and they're most likely seizing an opportunity where they see an entry point into mining. So yeah, that I could see that, especially the fact that Ethereum no longer does any mining whatsoever. So a lot of people are probably transitioning or trying to transition to other cryptocurrencies. Yeah, I just don't see anything. Yeah, I don't see anything. So if you don't see any sensational headlines in the news, usually that's a bearish signal for me. That's definitely a bearish signal. So there's nothing great in the news. That's definitely a bearish signal. So my overall sentiment is still the price will go down. The price will go down. I still think it's going to break 18,157. I think the price is breaking down. I'll try to explain why overall, and let me see if I can get rid of the fib lines so you guys can see a little bit better. Let me see here. Let's delete. Okay, delete that. All right, so I'm looking at this, and first thing you want to see in a chart is the obvious. On the left side, the price is higher. On the right side, the price is lower. It's trending downwards, or it has trend downwards. But the first thing you look at is just look at the chart. Which way is it going? It's going down. So that's a bearish sentiment right there. Second thing I look at is just looking at a chart like this. Is I look at the two average lines. So I'm looking at the two average lines. One's a probably 10 period or 10 candlestick average, and the other one's most likely a 30 candlestick average. I'm on the weekly. I can't say 30 day or 10 day. So 10 weekly, 10 weeks, 30 weeks most likely. I'm not sure. I don't see the details of it, but typically that's the norm. One moving average is a 10 period, 10 candlestick average, the other is a 30 candlestick average. The price is below both of them. So the current price is below the 2 weighted moving average. So that's another bearish sentiment. The second thing I look at is I look at the highs and the lows, especially, especially most recent. If you look at the most recent, you'll see that it's up here, up on top. Let me restart that. Okay. And no, I do not want this. Clear that. So if you look up here at this price, there's your higher high. And then, there's your lower low, the green candlestick. And then you come up here, there's your higher high, or lower higher high. And then you come down here, there's your lower low. And then you come up here to the top one more time. Basically just a dead cat bouncing until it just dies. But the question is, will the cat roll over and fall off another cliff? So if you know how gravity works, things usually go down. They don't, dead things usually fall down, not all of a sudden go back up. So unless this cat revives its 9 lives, I just don't think it's going to be popping. But there's your lower high again. Interesting. You didn't get, after that, you didn't get a lower low, but I think it's just, at this point, it's just consolidating right here. It's just consolidating. Yeah, you're not getting your lower low, but it's pretty close, and it's basically now it is just bouncing and consolidating. That's usually not a bullish sentiment when I see that. That's just not a bullish sentiment. And so overall, it still remains a bearish sentiment overall. So at this point, I can't say that you're going to see a little rally. I just don't see it. I still think that there is still a fifth leg. And also, I look at waves, not that it actually works, but, trading, the volume of trades, the movement, price action comes in waves. You'll start seeing it, usually triggered by stop losses or limit orders, whatever you have, people coming in, trying to jump on the bandwagon, momentum trading. That's where you see the waves of price action come in. So I still think there is one more wave to come, price going down. There's just too much bearish sentiment. When I first started doing the weekly chart, I thought maybe there might be a chance that you could see a bear market rally going up to $2,300. 2,300, yeah, $23,000 around there. But I gave it a time frame, and the time frame is done. It's over. So at this point, that trade is no longer valid. You have to reassess. You have to reassess your trade. You have to look at what you're doing. You have to look at the charts. You have to look at all the signals. Look at the news. If there's nothing bullish, then there's probably it's probably bearish. If everything's bearish, all right. If there's nothing bearish, it's most likely bullish. But so far, I don't see anything that tells me otherwise. I just see a lot of signals that tell me that the price will continue to go down. I think the cat is just rolling over after all the dead cat bounces. The cat is just rolling over and about to fall off another cliff. That's what I think is pretty much going to happen. And as far as we'll take a look at one more thing. I want to look at the mempool here. It has. Let's have a look at the last for 24 hours. It has increased. There's more transactions. Let's have a look at 1 week. Okay, so about a week ago, there was a lot of transactions, up to 20 megabytes, which is a lot, but it's back to like a medium, back in range. So yeah, nothing happened. Last week, what happened? The price went up slightly, went up or down. Probably was crashing. So anyways, right now it's not doing anything. It was up, it was high, and coincidentally last week the price was sinking. It looks like everyone was trying to dump their coins or trying to dump their coins. So nothing going on in the mempool that I can say for sure is one way or the other. Can't really say anything about it. But overall sentiment, I think, is just down. It doesn't look good. It doesn't look bullish. If it doesn't look bullish, then you have to assume it's going to be bearish. You just have to make that assumption. Although we've been going sideways for a while now, for almost 4 months. It's been sideways, at least. Definitely in the last 3 to 4 weeks, definitely sideways. And not only that, it's been a very low volume. Very low volume. So, like I said, I think it's just a dead cat bouncing and just not bouncing anymore. It's rolling over. The dead cat is rolling over, and I think it's gonna fall off another cliff. It's just too much negative signals for me to take a long position. And I'm still listening, and I'm watching for news. Excuse me, I'm eating. I'm watching news for the overall economy. Every time I listen to something, I listen to the financial news, it's always bad. Everyone's expecting a recession, all right? Inflation continues to go up. And you know, some of the things I pay attention to is, you know, the price of food. I do pay attention to that. Gas, and the price of gas is starting to go back up, even though it's almost fall and winter. You're getting a winter blend. Prices are starting to go back up, even where I live out in here in Houston. These are all indications to me that things are not going to be. It's not going to be a joyful holiday, in my opinion. I'm not going to be buying anything. I'm cutting back. Um, I also pay attention to the price of ammo. Ammo has not come down in price. It still remains high. Although the Academy has lifted its limits on ammo purchases, the price of firearms, pistols. I'm looking at prices of pistols, and they are double the price of what they should be. Right? Like I'm looking at Taurus. They're like over $100 from what their price should be. At least over $100. Maybe, 75 to $100. So I'm looking at these indicators. I'm looking at price of food, and I'm looking at wages. I don't work anymore, but my wife still works. She's not getting paid more money. So price of everything goes up. Your income remains the same. In some cases your income has gone down, you know. And so I have to surmise, just simple observation, that people are not spending, or I take that back, people are spending more money. They're just not getting more for their money. So, yes, your GDP will go up because those are valued in US dollars. If inflation goes up, you're spending more money to get the same things. Technically, you created more revenue, you created more GDP. I mean, technically, yes, but you're definitely not getting what you're paying for these days. You're getting less. So I just don't see the economy getting better. So this is going to be interesting. I still think by next year, November next year, I still do think by no around November next year that we're going to start seeing a bull market. I think there's a good chance that you could still see a bull market. I don't know how strong it's going to be because I think there's a recession that will be coming, and that this is going to be the first time where you will have cryptocurrency market experience a recession in a recessionary time. Since then, since the creation of Bitcoin, we've had a pretty good bull market in terms of, traditional financial markets, stock markets and everything. But I think this is going to be the first time the cryptocurrency markets are going to see a recession, and this will be the test of Bitcoin in general, the use case, the ultimate use case. You're already seeing like um, financial restrictions being put on like countries. You're seeing financial restrictions being put on citizens. So I think that cryptocurrency will have a use case. It will be used. Um, it's going to be interesting as time goes on to see how much more use it gets over time. Anyways, I'm not going to make this a very long live stream. I'm going to actually kind of cut it short. I have other things to do today, and it looks where I am, it looks overcast and probably will rain later on tonight. So most likely I'll be doing some laser dry firing. But overall sentiment is negative. I just don't see if the price does move up, it's very limited. There's a lot of headwinds on the pricing. There's more downwind. I do think that you're going to see another leg going down. How far? I think I mentioned it last week. Uh, 13 to 10,000. That's very possible. It could, I mean, spike down that far. Usually, it spikes down that far, then comes back, makes a very long candlestick with a tail, a red candlestick with a very long tail. Um, so far, if you are gonna try to make a trade or a play, you probably most likely want to trade between. Let me put my fib line on it one more time, and I'll leave it. I'll end it with that. There you go. So those are the two range. Any if the price action, you're at 50% right. You're almost at 50% of those between those two price ranges. So it's right in the middle. Uh, if it breaks up, do the momentum trade. Buy a small amount as it keeps continuing to go up. Double down as it continues to go up. Triple down. I'd be tight. I'd be tight with the stop loss if the price breaks up, because I just don't think there's an upward momentum. I think it's more downward momentum. If it does break up, most likely it will come back down again. That's very common with momentum trading. You get a lot of losers. Hopefully you won't. That's why you take a very small increment in your trade as the price moves upwards. If it breaks up, you're going along with the momentum. But if it doesn't turn out, that's why you do the small trades. So when it hits your stop loss, you get a lot of losers. But If it does go your way, let's say it goes down and starts crashing down, and you every at a certain point you're buying, you're doubling, you're tripling, you're quadrupling, whatever, you're taking on more on the trade as the momentum of the trade goes down, and if it works your way, then yeah, you come out big, you come out on top. So I would say at this point, um, the way I see it, wait for the price to move beyond those two price ranges: 20,450, 469, and 18,157, around that area. Again, take a small trade as the price keeps moving in the direction of your trade. Double down, triple down, quadruple down until you feel comfortable, and then just write it out. Just write it out. And, you know, there's a strategy to exit. There is a strategy to exit, but I'll cover that in the next video if it happens. If it happens, there is a strategy to exit out of those momentum trades. Anyways, I'm going to conclude this episode. Thanks for everybody who stopped by. Like, share, comment, subscribe. Consider joining membership. Also, super thanks are greatly appreciated. I go live every Monday. Yeah, mostly Mondays. Depends on the time. If I have time in the morning, I'll live stream in the morning. Sometimes I'm busy in the morning. I'll live stream in the afternoon, but usually Mondays. I usually get a fresh new candlestick to look at. And right now it's just at a 50%, according to this Fibonacci retracement here. Let's see, what is the current price? Current price is 19,262. Anyways, thanks everybody. Appreciate it. Come back next week and give me a thumbs up. Enjoy. You have a great day, and see you all next time.